Hello one and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my first guest today is this incredible actor known by the name of Brandon Melo. He's Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, in Spider-Man of Monsters from Mount Haddon. So I'm about to give Brandon an add into the live now and have a chat with Brandon.
Hey,
Hey Brandon, what's up?
how's it going? How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good.
Hey, it's sorry, I've been it's been a super long day, so sorry for
You're
being 2
fine.
minutes late.
So,
Cool.
what I'm going to get, thank you for coming onto my show, by the way, it means a lot. So what I'm going to get you to do first is I'm going to get you to introduce yourself and explain a bit about what you do, and then I'm going to
Yep.
dive right into questions.
Yeah, so basically I'm an actor, director, producer. I've worked on a few different projects. Right now I'm currently working on Spider-Man and the Monsters in Manhattan. We put up an Indiegogo, so we're just crowdfunding the rest of the project. This project is, made by fans for fans.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now. So for my first question, as you mentioned, you're in this new film series that's going to be released soon called Spider-Man of Monsters on Manhattan. What can people expect to see from your Spider-Man in general?
Yeah, I guess my interpretation of the character is something a little bit closer to the source material. It's based off of the Ultimate Comics for the most part. But what we really wanted to accomplish was basically make an amalgamation of everything that we love about Spider-Man. We took little bits and pieces from Spider-Man PS4, took a little bit from the Raimi films, even the Andrew Garfield films, and we were just heavily influenced by a bunch of different things. So, yeah, I guess just it's just a little bit campier and closer to the comics and something that's just really fun for the fans.
Awesome. So for my next question, you were actually in this other Spider-Man film that you guys made called The Web of SpiderMan. What was
Yes.
that like creating that?
Yeah, basically I was 16 at the time, and I really wanted to create like a Spider-Man fan film. And I guess at the time I was in the indie scene, and a good portion of indie filmmakers are just like, oh, let's make something deep and dark, and because everyone's coming right out of film school. And I guess I was just kind of brought into that crowd, and that's basically how the Web of Spider-Man was created. Is everyone when they're coming right out of college, they're all like, oh, let's make something deep and dark and really philosophical. So basically, that was the creation of the Web of Spider-Man. It was just like, oh, let's see what we can do with a darker take of the character. But that's really why this project is so important to me, is because I feel like finally I'm getting the chance to really play Spider-Man. Because I felt like that last interpretation was it was basically Batman, but with a Spider-Man skin on. So we wanted to really stay true to the character in this version of the series.
Awesome. So for my next question, for my next question with Spiders of Manhattan, what makes your Spider-Man so different from other portrayals of the actors who played Spider-Man before you in this series of yours? And what can you tell people about the Indiegogo?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I guess it's really my interpretation isn't necessarily I guess what we're really trying to do here, it's closer to like Captain America the Winter Soldier, where the character of Captain America doesn't change. It's not like Man of Steel, where we're trying to make a different world and making a different version of the character and seeing how that reflects onto the character. What we're really trying to do is put this character that we all know and love, Spider-Man, basically stay true to the comics and put him in a different world, a different atmosphere, something closer to something that mirrors today's society, where they're like basically anti-mutant protesters, where people are just having enough of these superpowered beings just going around and destroying property and all of that. And Wilson Fisk's big scheme, because he's running for mayor, is to basically put this rigged scenario where he goes to City Hall and he puts a dangerous mutant Scorpion into the gala, and seeing all of the chaos that occurs. Really, my character is just trying to, what we were trying to do while crafting the character was trying to stay as true to the source material as possible, so something closer to the Ultimate Comics, and trying to just see, trying to tell just a really good story. What we were really heavily focused on while making the character, though, at its root, was just making a cool interpretation, and really relying on the Aunt May and Peter Parker storyline, because I thought it was really important to me to really tell like a good mother and son story, because I felt like that really resonated with me while we were writing, and I guess a little bit more of a focus on that. But in terms of the Indiegogo, I guess what specifically would you like to know about that? What's good?
Like, where can people find it? So you can
Mhm.
get people that want to send money in to you guys if they want.
Yeah. I guess the easiest way to find it is you can see it on my Instagram page, underscore Brandon Melo. The link is in my bio. Made it super convenient for anyone to click on it. Other influencers have been posting about it. I think at some point today, Kevin Porter is going to be posting about it, who plays Batman on all of the Bat in the Sun stuff. And then another convenient place is just going on Indiegogo and typing in Spider-Man. It's literally the first thing that pops up. So yeah, it's around. It's around.
Awesome. So for my next question, who would actually be your all-time favorite Spider-Man actor that's portrayed Spider-Man?
Oh, that's a good question. Oof. I grew up on the Tobey Maguire films. I think oof, that's rough. It's a tough question. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I think I have to go with Tobey Maguire. I guess it's just the nostalgia factor for me. I just I think because I grew up on him, and he was one of the biggest influences on like me as a human being, just being the good, like he taught me like a good portion of my morals that I live up to. And I mean, we're literally using the Sam Raimi costume in the Spider-Man series. So we kind of just wanted to make something super classic. So he just heavily influenced us. I mean, the series literally takes place in 2010, because we wanted to kind of have some of that nostalgia factor, and we also have like pair phones and stuff like that in the series, which is from iCarly and Victoria. So it's kind of a bunch of nostalgia just thrown into this show, and yeah.
Awesome. So for my next question, you were actually in this other series called The Order of Wills, a Star Wars story.
Oh, yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
Oh, yeah, that was my buddy John. He I guess he just, I think one of the actors dropped out or something, and he was just like, "Oh, I guess I'll hit up Brandon." Uh, so that was really an interesting experience. So it was all like put together last minute, and they brought me onto set, tried out wardrobe, and then I got to explore the Star Wars universe for a little bit. And it was just really interesting. We did a bunch of rehearsals, figuring out how to hold the lightsabers appropriately. Went through the choreography, so it was interesting. It wasn't too like dialogue heavy, so I had some fun playing around with the character, and kind of taking it from there. But it was just a really cool, interesting experience to play a Jedi. But yeah, it was just fun, something fun to do, like over some time. I don't know.
Awesome. So for my next question, who actually inspired you to get into acting in the first place?
Um, hmm. Well, I started off in the modeling industry when I was like 8 years old. And then over time, really it was Spider-Man. Going to the theaters and seeing, at the time I was 7, so seeing Spider-Man 3 in theaters, I guess what really inspired me was seeing the emotional impact that Spider-Man had on me, and wanting to give that experience to other people, like being able to inspire someone. I thought was really interesting, and I didn't realize how important film is to people. Like after experiencing it, I was just like, oh God, like this is cool emotional experience, and I understand how much like films can really resonate with people. And just over time, um, I started really, delving into behind the scenes and how, films were made. And I just thought it was so interesting, that you can go on a journey with, a character for 2 hours. And now we're in the world of like, television. So you can be with a character for 12, 15 hours. And I guess that I think that's really important to influence people appropriately and tell good stories. So I guess it wasn't just one thing. It was just like just the concept itself really inspired me. And I guess that's what I really enjoy is just being able to tell stories that can, help someone get out of a dark time or, help someone motivate someone. Because film is just, used for different purposes. So I guess it's really just dependent on the story. I guess that's why I attach myself to different projects is whether or not the screenplay itself, the blueprint of the film, it like resonates with me, whether or not the story is good or not. So I am an actor, but I am also very picky with the projects that I attach myself to now. So um, yeah, hopefully that answered your question. I did ramble a little bit, but
No, you were fine. Awesome. So for my next question, what have you actually learned about yourself during COVID this year?
what did I learn about myself? A lot. I guess the main thing that we were doing during COVID was really we had the extra time to work on the screenplay, and that's when we were able to, I guess, learn more about business and marketing at the time. My business partner, Alex, we were just diving deep into reaching out to influencers because I started off on really where my career really took off was when I was on Vine for a little bit, and I just kept getting a ton of attraction and stuff like that. So while I was on Vine, I learned a ton about marketing and stuff like that, and I got to put it to good use over the COVID time, so we could start reaching out to other influencers and kind of using that to get people onto the project, and that's how we got Kevin Porter and Meg Nutt and all of these other influencers. So I guess I didn't really learn anything too deep. I just learned new tricks and stuff, and kept progressing. I guess I kind of just studied a little bit more. It's kind of what I do when I have downtime. I just kind of keep trying to be a better, filmmaker and actor, and always studying, never take a day off.
Awesome. So for my next question, if you could be in any movie or TV franchise currently, what would it be and why?
Oh, I love The Boys right now. I certainly would love to be a part of that whole thing. I think that's just such a interesting world that I feel like it's an atmosphere that not too many other shows really dive deep into. Yeah, I think it would just be really interesting to do some character work in that atmosphere because it's like borderline. It's like a dark comedy, and I feel like that's really fascinating. Because the superhero genre has never really tackled that. I mean, kind of did with Deadpool, but like while watching Deadpool, you have a full understanding that this is like a comedy. Just it's meant to make you laugh. The Boys, like it makes you feel all these different types of emotions. It can make you feel uncomfortable with Homelander, but then it could be like really sweet with the love story that's going on right now. So with Starlight and stuff. So yeah, I would love to be a part of The Boys. I got asked that question yesterday too, and I was just like, dude, that's when I figured out I was like, I want to be a part of The Boys.
Nice. So for my next question, so what are the positives and negatives into the acting industry, and how do you get through those negatives?
I guess it's really just the um hmm. I guess it's just I never really I never really perceived well, the film industry has a lot of negatives in terms of just like I guess I guess the film industry revolves around problem solving a good portion of the time. There's always going to be an issue. I never really perceive it to be necessarily a negative. You kind of just accept the situation. You kind of just have to keep moving on. That's kind of what you have to do when you're a filmmaker. You don't. I guess the biggest thing for me right now is just like I really haven't had any emotional reactions when it comes to like any of the issues that come on set. I guess we just kind of have to stay focused and have to keep moving on. Um, so I guess it's really just dependent on each person kind of perceives. I guess I mean, to someone, to me, it's like, oh, we have to, there's a problem on set, we have to fix it right now. But to other people, they're like, oh, this is the worst thing in the world. I don't know how to fix this. So I guess it's really just dependent on how you perceive what a negative is. I guess I've been kind of just seeing everything as a positive recently because, with this whole project, I mean, it's really just the next step for me. So I haven't really been seeing any negatives. I've kind of just been seeing the positives in most situations when it comes to filmmaking and acting in all of these scenarios. I guess the biggest negative is right now we don't have too much money to make this, but that's about it. We're kind of doing this on a shoestring budget, and when you're on these larger sets, I guess the biggest thing is budget can really help you with having more time on set to really fully go into everything. While right now we're kind of just on a shoestring budget, so we kind of don't have too much time to really fully explore some of these scenarios. All of our prep time is done in advance before we hop on set. But yeah, hopefully all of that tracks and makes sense. I rambled a little bit.
So for my very last question, Brandon. So
Yep.
with any new projects, like apart from Spider-Man, what new projects are you currently wanting to work on next?
Oh, like that I'm currently working on, or that I'm working on a few different things. One of them I did sign an NDA for, so I can't talk about. But it's a cool like little thing that it's a series. That's all I can say. I'm working on a series that's getting funding right now. So I can't talk too much about it, but I'm working on a few different things. A few short films as well. Yeah, I guess a lot of stuff that I can't talk about.
So good. So good.
But yeah, I'm working on other things.
Well, can I just say thank you so much, Brandon, for coming onto my show. It really means a lot. Yeah, I just wanted to say it was such a pleasure having you on my show. Any last final thoughts that you would like to say?
I guess for other filmmakers that are watching this, I guess when you do get hit with hard times, just keep pushing through, because that's the biggest thing. Is don't if you have a passion for filmmaking, just keep going through, because there's always going to be hard times. But if you have a passion, a desire to become a filmmaker, no matter what happens, just keep pushing through, because hard times will hit, but you'll become stronger for it if you keep moving forward.